Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So Microsoft have just announced a whole slew of new products, and there's a few on there that I'm really excited about. Some of them I'm not overly interested about. The one that has really captivated my mind is the Surface Pro 8. So we're going to get into this video and talk a little bit more about that device, why I'm interested in it, and probably one of the reasons why I won't actually end up getting it. But yeah, let's just get into it, shall we? So for all of you Microsoft fans out there, obviously they don't tend to make quite as much of a splash in the media as Apple do, even though Apple were kind of half-hearted in our opinion with their latest announcement. And Microsoft have done some pretty interesting things. There's the new Duo, which looks pretty cool. Alternate take, I guess, on the foldable phone, and the fact it's two screens that have been slapped together rather than one big screen that folds up. Looks pretty neat, and this year's got much improved cameras, which is a big win. Looks interesting, but not really taking my fancy. Like I said, the Surface Pro 8, it's the first time in I think, 8 years or something that the Surface lineup has had a decent upgrade when it comes to its design. We did see an upgrade when it came to the Surface X, which is the ARM-based processor version of it, but not with the Intel-based ones. And now that Intel-based Surface Pro 8 looks very similar to the Surface X. So it gets those slimmed down bezels, it's now got a 13-inch display, it's a Dolby Vision display, and it also sports a 120Hz display, so that makes things much smoother. The screen size has also been bumped up as well, so it's now a 13-inch display to go with that 120Hz Dolby Vision display, so things are going to look much nicer, and you get much more display, I guess, at the end of the day compared to the original footprint. It's also now finally supporting 2 Thunderbolt ports on there, and for a lot of people this hasn't really been a big deal, but for the other camp it's been an absolutely massive deal. For me personally, it's the one thing that's been keeping me away from those Surface devices for a long time, and the main reason is I'm kind of obsessed with that idea of having the all-in-one device that is literally your tablet, your laptop, and then also your gaming desktop as well. So currently my setup is I have my iPad Pro 12.9 inch, and I absolutely love it for that tablet experience, and nothing gets close, I don't care what you say. However, I have a actual laptop for productivity and for actual movies and everything else for the editing side of things, and then I have my gaming PC, so I ended up with 3 different devices. I have tried the all-in-one device and it just doesn't seem to quite work, but this seems to be the first time that this form factor, in my opinion, and when Microsoft do it, they do it really well, it's the first time that it's probably going to be able to support all of those things, so really interested to see how that turns out. Now, the device will be launching from October 5th, so it's not too long to wait now if you get your pre-orders in, and you can get it in up to 32GB of RAM, and it comes with an 11th gen Intel processor. Apparently, I think it's quad-core according to the website. In the UK, it starts at £999, and in the US, it starts at $1099, so it's not too bad. However, the problem to bear in mind is they've brought out a new Surface Pen Slim, which looks really nice. Apparently it has haptic feedback to give it a paper-like experience, combined with that new 120Hz display, which is something I absolutely adore on the iPad Pro, will make that writing experience so much better on the Surface. I can't wait to see how Microsoft pull that off. Problem is, I think it's $129 that starts at, so you see your starting price is really starting to ramp up already. Also, you don't get one of these keyboard attachments, so you're gonna have to fork out, I think it's $160 to get one of those thrown in starting price. So again, there's another added expense, and if you're gonna go for something like the Surface lineup, you probably want to go for one of those typing covers, because again, they're awesome, but it's adding a decent chunk on there. Now, one thing that the Surface Pro 8 steals from the Surface X lineup is that keyboard attachment also has the little dock bit for the pen. So just underneath the screen, you pop your pen into it and it charges the pen, so a nice touch. Unlike my iPad Pro, which has the Apple Pencil, which magnetically attaches to the top, which is a lovely addition, it's also a nuisance because it always falls off, or my kids always nick it. So having it somewhere where it's tucked away nicely and it's stored safely, I prefer that, what Microsoft is doing, so, each to their own. Now, this has literally just been announced, so I do have the pricing and some of the bits on their website. So, the $999 price point, or the $1099 in the US, that is for the Intel i5, 8GB of RAM and 128GB SSD. So, at that sort of price point, it's a decent enough little machine, but if you're already forking out that sort of cost, you probably want to be going up a tier at least. So, $1099 in the UK will get you 256 SSD. And then, as you can imagine, as you go for the high specs, it gets a lot more expensive. And this is where I'll probably put the brakes on, even though I'm really intrigued by the idea of getting rid of my iPad Pro and potentially get rid of my MacBook Pro 16-inch, and then not having a gaming PC, using an external GPU instead, having it all on one device. it then suddenly costs an awful lot of money. It probably makes more sense for me to keep all the hardware I've already got and then maybe just upgrade my gaming PC if I actually wanted that experience. So yeah, it is tempting though, I've got to say. So let us know, have you been watching the Microsoft announcements? And if you have, what's the most tempting thing for you? Are you going to be upgrading any of your gear? Is there anything out there that you're looking at buying this year round? Are you going to be going for the Surface Pro 8 now they've modernised the design and put Thunderbolt ports on there? Is that something that's going to tempt you across finally? Or are you just not bothered at all? Let us know in the comments. I'm genuinely excited by what Microsoft are bringing to the market. Windows 11 is looking pretty interesting, and it'll be interesting to go hands-on with that and combine it with the new hardware that they're bringing. Things could start to hot up in that space. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm a massive Apple fan at the end of the day. If you've watched any of our videos in the past, you know that I'm kind of obsessed with cloud gaming and also obsessed with Apple, although I call Apple out for a lot of the crap that they throw at us. And this year's announcement for Apple was pretty lackluster, and it's interesting to see that Microsoft, just a few days after, brought some really interesting things to the market. So as long as they pull that off right, and they actually don't break down, then we could be in for a win. Another reason I'm not overly tempted is I have this old Surface RT, which is dead, and I have my Surface Book as well, which I've done a few videos on, that is also dead. I've also owned a Surface Pro 3, and that also died as well, so I've not had the best track record when it comes to Surface products. I am willing to give them another go just because their hardware looks absolutely awesome, but I am a little bit apprehensive if I do take that plunge. Again, let us know in the comments. Do you think we should take the plunge? Are my reasons for having that all in one device and not having it all over the place, are they just stupid? They are. It's a really, really stupid thing to go for, but I also really like the idea of just having a tablet as and when I need it, and then I can just dock it and it becomes a laptop, and then I can dock it again and it becomes a gaming PC. I know obviously I'll lose some of that performance when I use an external GPU, but it's just a tempting idea to clear up some space. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you have, hit the like and subscribe button and come along for some more awesome content in the future. Like I said, let us know in the comments, what are you most excited about? Is it the Surface Duo? Is it the new pen? Is it the new Studio laptop that they brought out, which has this like tent mode and easel mode? Is it the Surface Pro X, which is their ARM-based one, which also has 64-bit emulation? We'll see how that works out. Obviously Apple pulled it off. Hopefully Microsoft do it as well. Let us know. Very interested to see what you guys are interested in and what you potentially will be upgrading to. So in the meantime, stay safe, and we'll be back in the future with some more awesome content. But until then, I'll see you soon. Bye.